So I was recently in Holladay Distillery in Weston, Missouri. Did an evening with the Masters event alongside some many other great industry folks. We've got Brewzle, we had Bourbyourenthusiasm, aka Frank, and Danielle, which is CoffeeblackWhiskeyneat. We sat in on a panel and just kind of answered some questions throughout the evening about content, about bourbon, and just any and all things within that realm of things. Words are hard. But while we were there, we got to taste through the Ancient Cave collection, which is something that I never thought I would really be able to taste. Mainly because I think it's only available at the distillery, and well, I live not in Missouri. But I'm so grateful for everyone at Holladay, not only for inviting us out, but just the hospitality, and the whole weekend was just a blast. And they sent me home with these bottles. So of course we're gonna review them. If you're not familiar with the Ancient Cave collection, it's Holladay's way of kind of experimenting with finishing with different stave profiles and taste profiles, but they do it in a cave that's actually on property. It's one of the oldest structures on site, dating all the way back to 1837, which if you don't know, that's a long time ago. So basically what they do is they do their normal distillate, they age it in their traditional rick houses for X amount of years until they're ready to pull it. Then they rebarrel it in a secondary finishing barrel, put it in that cave for any amount of time that they so choose. And then when it's ready, they pull it, bottle it, and we get to taste it. And yes, it is actually a cave that these barrels go into. It's not just a play on words for marketing, it's legit. So these three offerings are all toasted, but they all have a different taste profile based on the barrel that they went in. The first one is a smoke toasted American oak barrel with a char number 1. The second one is a toasted American oak with a sweet profile and a char number 1. And the third is toasted American oak with a spice profile with char number 1. I might be kind of saying that wrong, but needless to say, it is a spice profile, a sweet profile, and a smoky profile. Let us drink. I'm gonna start off with smoke first. So I don't know about you, but typically when I see the word smoke associated with bourbon, I kind of always assume it's gonna be over smoked and just taste like a campfire. But I don't think that's gonna be the case on this one. So on the nose on this one, there is a hint of smoke, but it's nothing overwhelming or off-putting. But underneath that thin layer of smoke, I'm getting some of those dessert type notes that you may get on a bourbon. So think creme brulee, vanilla, toasted sugar, cinnamon, things of that sort. So the palate and the nose on this one match perfectly. There is a little bit of smoke on the palate, but nothing that's gonna really turn you off to actually tasting it and drinking more. I mean, I've literally tried bourbons that are smoked that taste like ash. And this does not taste like ash. This one's a perfect balance of those sweet and savory type notes. You get all of the dessert notes of the creme brulee, vanilla, brown sugar, and cinnamon, but then with that touch of smoke is where it kind of comes into a savory type side, and it's just perfect. Nothing about it is off-putting or offensive on the palate. It just all works together pretty much perfectly. I feel like I've said perfect a lot. I may have not, but I feel like I have. And if I have, I'm sorry, but it's perfect. Next up, we're gonna try the sweet taste profile. Don't mind if I do. Let me cleanse my palate. Damn. With a little Soda Stream. Sponsor me. Soda Stream. Not sponsored, but would gladly accept it. If you know, you know. So this one's just a really traditional smelling bourbon on the nose. Again, brown sugar, caramel, vanilla, little bit of toasted oak on this one, but I'm also getting this like dark cherry, kind of dark fruit note, and that's what I'm really enjoying. Oh, wow. So the palate on this one from the front to the back is super soft and approachable, but oh so sweet. But not like a synthetic type sweetness, just overall a good bourbon sweetness. So all those brown sugar, caramel, and vanilla notes from the nose do come through on the palate, but I think that dark cherry is actually a little bit more predominant on the palate, which is something I really like. If you don't know at this point, I love cherry notes, especially when it goes to that darker side of cherry. It's just so good, so good. But on the palate, I'm getting hints of citrus, so think more like your limes and your oranges. And that just kind of really like pops out of the sweetness. I mean, it's a fruity type sweetness, but it's not more of those dessert type sweetness notes. Sometimes I like get talking and I don't even know if what I'm saying makes sense. So I hope everything I just said makes sense. And last but not least, we got spice, baby. So weirdly enough, the spice taste profile is fruitier on the nose than I would have thought. It's really all I've got on it. It's fruity, but also there's like a touch of cinnamon on there. So this pour is really weird to me, but not in a bad way. What I mean is that on the front and mid palate, it's really light and fruity and sweet, but on the back palate, it just kind of explodes into this really full-bodied pour, almost kind of tasting more of like a dusty type bottle that you might drink from way back when. This one also has a really soft mouthfeel to it, kind of coats the whole tongue and the whole roof of your mouth, almost kind of like you've just had like authentic vanilla bean ice cream. But overall, this one's probably the most like fun on the palate because it's sweet up front and spicy on the back. Some may say it tantalizes the tongue. That's a pretty big word I just used there. Tantalize. Look it up or not. You don't have to. You really don't. But you could. So I think when I tasted these all at Holladay, I actually went towards the spice profile as being my favorite. But now that I'm just here at my studio, just kind of sampling through these, kind of a more chill environment, I think I'm actually going towards the smoke. And I think that's because it has all those traditional notes that all of these kind of share and that you would expect from bourbon in general. But that kiss of smoke on that one is just super interesting to me and just kind of makes me want to keep going back for more. I think I've said it before when I've done my reviews of other Holladay products in the past, but this distillery is honestly crushing it. They're doing it right. I mean, being out there, it's this super small operation with a huge heart and with amazing people behind it. And I mean, they are sitting on so many barrels that they're not releasing until they reach a minimum of 6 years old. And in this time of bourbon, that's a really big commitment because, I mean, honestly, I mean, they're just sitting there spending money on those barrels, sitting in those rickhouses. But I think at the end of the day, they are getting awarded by doing that because the product that they're putting out is far more mature than what some craft distilleries that are even bigger than them are doing. So kudos to you, Holladay, for doing what you want to do and not letting the industry and what other distilleries are doing kind of pushing those products out earlier, because it's all working out in your favor because you're putting out products like these that are absolutely exquisite. Let me know down in the comments if you've tried the Ancient Cave collection, and if you have, which one was your favorite? And if you haven't, based off the notes that I've listed here, which one do you think you would go for? As always, drink the bourbon the way you want to drink it. We should probably blend them, right? Yeah. Oh, that's so good. Oh, yeah. All right, on that note, toodles.